What's up, you guys? It's Simon. Welcome back to my channel, and Merry Christmas Eve, or Happy Holidays if you don't celebrate Christmas, or just Merry, Happy, have a good day if you don't celebrate holidays at all. I hope wherever you are that you're somewhere safe and comfy, and I thank you for taking the time to sit down and watch this little video with me. So, moving straight onto the piece, this is also gonna be another stream of consciousness type thing, just me chatting about how I feel about my art in general lately, but also this piece. Of course, I'm going to try to put more focus on this actual piece because I actually do have a lot to say about it, but that being said, I'm just kind of trying to be chit-chatty because it is the day before this video goes up. The holidays have been crazy and I have not had time to record, so I hope that everything I say in this video makes sense. But anyway, the reason that I've been doing yet again another redraw is not because of art blog, but actually is because this is part of a series that I have had going on since 2018. So I drew this piece all the way back in, again, 2018, and she was so super cute that the next year I decided to redraw her, and then I just have been doing it ever since. The only year that I actually missed was 2020, which I think is fair enough considering I think we all had a lot going on in 2020, so I didn't do it that year, but I have done it every year since then. And yeah, so usually when I do a redraw, especially if it's multiple redraws in a series where I'm drawing the same thing over and over multiple years in a row, I usually like to just look at the past iteration and see what I can improve on in that one specific piece. Well, I guess it's always one specific piece, but like focusing on last year's rather than multiple years as a whole. However, this year, I've been struggling with my art and my art style so much that wasn't really an option for me because looking at last year's made me miserable. Last year's piece I think is so cute. I loved how her makeup turned out. I loved how her hair turned out, her face, her eyes, everything about her is so cute. Her outfit, I am obsessed with her. It's one of the pieces where like I look back at it and I'm like, this is one of the best things I've ever made. So how do you improve on that? That's really hard, especially when I'm currently sitting at this weird stage of not being happy with any of my work. And I know that's just because I'm in a weird transitional period with my art style. There's probably going to be some change or shift here soon, and I just don't know what that change or shift will be. But yeah, it's definitely not helpful to look back at my old art and feel as if my skills have diminished rather than improved. So instead of focusing on last year's, I actually went to the year prior to that, which is what I thought that first piece I showed you was. I thought that was the first in the series. But as I was recording this voiceover, I was like, hold on, there should be another one. And it actually was that piece that I showed you first. But anyway, this is the piece that I was looking at. So this was the piece from 2019, and I'm kind of grateful that I, for some reason, gaslit myself into thinking that this was the first piece, because it actually has a lot of elements that weren't visible in the original piece that I thought could definitely be included in this year's, and I think that would also make this piece an improvement on last year's, considering last year's was just kind of like a shoulders up portrait kind of thing. And while this is still technically, I would say, a shoulders up portrait, I still try to make things a little more dynamic with her expression, and you know, she's holding a cup. Her hands, by the way, so hard to draw. So hard to draw hands in this position. I really hope it looks like she's holding that mug, because it was difficult. You should have seen, it was hard. It was hard. Anyways, but yeah, I think that it helps that that's the piece that I was looking at, because I subconsciously was able to do a lot to improve last year's piece, and also, of course, improve on the first piece that I did, because that was also just literally, I don't even think there were shoulders in that piece. I literally think it was just like neck up, because I used to do that a lot on Instagram. I would just make neck up portraits, which is fine. It's totally fine. Why did I crop it there? I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, I think that definitely helped me improve upon last year's. I think the thing that I've just really been struggling with is her face. I don't think it's ugly. I think if I was looking at this piece objectively, if this were the first piece I'd ever drawn in this series, I just came up with this idea this year and drew it, I would be like, oh my god, this is so cute, I'm gonna draw it every year. because that's what I did in 2018. But yeah, because I have the other pieces to kind of look and compare it to, but particularly again last year's to compare it to, looking at her face, I'm like, ooh, I don't like it. When I first started drawing it, you guys saw me start straight from the ink, so you guys didn't actually see me fussing with the sketch or anything, but when I first drew it, her face was really short and her eyes were really big, and she just was not giving me like the right vibes, if that makes sense. And that's something that I've been struggling with in a lot of my pieces lately, especially when it comes to like commission work or stuff or something like that. Back at the beginning of this year, likeness and stuff was not a struggle for me, but now it is. I'm just suddenly struggling with that, and I don't know why, and so it's been really frustrating. So yeah, I was just trying to stretch things out, use a lot of the liquify tool, work kind of through those horrible feelings, and I'm glad that I did, because once you guys see the finished piece, you'll see something that I am fortunately very proud of. I was really scared. I asked my husband every single step of the process. I was like, is this ugly? Is this cute? Does this look better? Does this look better than last year's? Is this nice? Do you still like this drawing? Because he does. Look at the year before too. I have it in my desk because I like to keep pieces that I'm really proud of close to me. Like physically when I'm working around things, so that I know that they're safe. And so sometimes that will pop out of like my drawer that I keep my stickers and stuff for my shop in, and he'll see it every so often and be like, oh, I love this piece, I love this drawing, it's so cute. Which I do that too. So knowing that he loves the original, I kept asking, I was like, do you like this one? Do you like this one? Is it better? Is it good? Do you like it? And I probably was getting on his nerves, but every single time he was like, yeah, I really like this one. She's so cute. And something, he said this last year too, I remember him saying it. He said that it looks like each year she grows up a little bit, so she's kind of aging with me, which is also similar to something he said about another one that I redraw quite a bit, which is the first drawing I've ever done in Procreate, which actually, I don't know if I've ever done a YouTube video with that drawing, so I probably should. I think that would be fun to do, so I'll have to do that in, I think it's March? In March. Keep an eye out for that if I do that. But yeah, he said it looks like she's growing up every year, and I think that's really adorable, and I hope that that's still the case for this one. I think it kind of is. But again, because I was struggling with her face and it being too like round and big, I just can't get the idea that she looked a little more childlike out of my head. So that because I want her to age with me. I think that's cool. I think that's really fun. That's something that I just subconsciously do with my redraw pieces. So hopefully that comes across. Hopefully she looks a little older, a little wiser, but just as sweet and just as cute as she does in the original. But yeah. Anyways, apart from that, let's talk about actually working on the coloring process. So the coloring process for this piece was very nice, but also such a struggle at the same time, because the colors that I picked for the original are really like pink. I don't know why I chose so many pink tones, but I definitely have kept the hot pink color of her antlers for every year. So when it came to her outfit, especially trying to pick a color that was still like holiday like while also capturing the feeling of the original was kind of a struggle for me. I also had a struggle finding the right colors for things because so many of my markers, especially my Copics, have died on me for no reason. Some of my Copics are upwards of 10 years old and they still work. Meanwhile, some of my Copics that are 3 or 4, or probably even some 2 years old, just suddenly don't work, which is really annoying and really frustrating when it comes to working traditionally, knowing that I have a marker that would be perfect for a certain portion of a piece, and then putting it down or opening the cap and realizing that it's like busted, exploded for whatever reason. Very frustrating. So before I started recording, I had to do so many swatch tests, and even then those swatch tests weren't quite correct because they were on very small areas. So I like to work in a Canson XL mixed media sketchbook, and when I do pieces like this, I will rip it out of my sketchbook and I will use the spine, like the side of it that I rip off, you know, the what do they call that, the part that goes through the loopy doops, that part, the side, the margin, oh my god, the margin. I'll just use that for quick color studies to see if one, if markers work, and two, if the color works for what I'm going to use it for. And for some reason, especially particularly in her hair and her shirt, the colors were way lighter on certain parts. Like the bottom of her hair was supposed to be a very nice, light, bright blonde. And while it's still definitely bright blonde, I still had to go in with so much colorless blender to make it an even gradient, which was really frustrating. And then for her shirt, I thought I picked two colors that were perfect. I thought I picked a really, really nice lighter tone and a really nice mid-tone that I could shade with. And then I started putting those colors down, and it was literally like they were the exact same color. So I'm pretty upset about that because one of the colors was significantly lighter in the swatch. So I don't know what that was about. So that was really annoying. But I still like the color. I still think I was able to get that holiday vibe, and I really, really like it. I also, of course, added some elements of a light gold. I have like this metallic gold. I think it's a Signo gel pen that I like to use. I gave her a wedding ring this year because my husband told me to, and also because I was like, wait, that's literally adorable, because he said she grows up every year. So she's married this year. Yay, go her. That's adorable. I just think it was such a cute idea. I absolutely had to do it. And then of course you guys know I did my classic, as you can see me doing, hopefully now. I don't know what it's gonna see in the voiceover as it applies to the speed paint, but I did my little blendy color pencil kind of thing for just small areas like her cheek and her lips. I love using color pencil on the lips because my favorite way to wear lipstick right now, I used to be like, it would all be I would only use like bullet like lipsticks, and I would go over my whole lips, and they would be like matte but not really matte because they weren't liquid lipsticks. And then I would wear exclusively liquid lipsticks, and then I was like exclusively gloss. And now I like to wear like matte lipstick that I blend out, like a liquid lipstick that I blend out really, really heavily, and then like a huge gloss over it. And that's kind of the look that I like to try to emulate with my illustrations, is that like matte lip but with a glossy top on almost all of my pieces. Like every single drawing has this, just because I think it's really fun to draw. It looks really, really pretty, very rosy, definitely. I don't want to say lifelike, but it looks like your drawing is not like alive like in a realism sense, but like that looks like a person, that looks like somebody who's doing life. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. I just think it's a really, really nice touch, and so I like to do that a lot. And another thing that I really, really like as far as color goes are her eyes. I made her eyes the same color as her hair, and then as I was looking at it, I was like, oh, her eyes look so, I don't know, boring? I don't know. They just don't look, they're not the right hue or something. Something's wrong here. And normally, if I have like a character that has brown hair and brown eyes, I like to use the same eye color for the hair, or I like to use the same color for her hair and her eyes as like a base color. Her, as if it's only girls. I mostly draw girls, but if it's, you know, whatever type of character, if they have brown hair, I use the same color for their eyes. But it just didn't look right here, so I went over it with like a really light pink, but not so light that it would lift the color, but like light enough that it would shift the hue, with a pink. And it looks so pretty. Like, it's so cute. They're like brown still, but they're like pinky brown. And I think it's adorable. I think it's really cute. So yeah, I'm definitely super, super happy with the colors. Oh, last thing for the color. I don't know if this necessarily counts as a color. It is more so like a finishing touch aspect. So we just had a localized blizzard here where I live yesterday, which is also the day that I drew this, and also the day that I decided to go to Walmart and buy glitter, because literally stupidly, so I have every year in this piece, her antler things, her headband has pink glittery antlers, and I always use iridescent glitter. And I have so much of it. I have so much in all shapes and sizes in a bag somewhere that disappeared within my house. I don't know where it is. I don't know what happened to it. My the kitchen is covered in boxes because we had somebody move in earlier this year, so literally it was just a disaster. I was like, I don't have time to, one, finish this illustration, two, do all the cooking that I need to do for Christmas because we were doing our Christmas yesterday. So it was like I don't have time to cook all over the house while also finishing this piece, while also ripping the house apart looking for a stupid innocuous bag of glitter. So I went out in a blizzard and I bought glitter at Walmart so I would have glitter for this piece, because I'm insane, and I just felt like if it didn't have glitter that it wouldn't be the same, and I was so like distraught about it. I was like, it has to have glitter, it has to, all of the other ones have glitter. So I did. I got it. I got the glitter. I parked right by the back and I ran into where I knew the glitter would be, and there wasn't any glitter. There wasn't any of the right glitter. I had to buy a multi-pack of glitter just so I could get iridescent glitter in the tiniest tube, and I spilled it all over myself. So I hope you guys enjoy that. But anyway, all the weird struggles with my art and the general holiday nonsense and the glitter and the whatever stuff aside, I am so glad that I pushed myself to finish this piece, because again, I am generally pretty proud of it. I think I would have been really, really sad if I had just decided not to do it at all this year, especially if I, you know, because even if I made something that I didn't like at the end of this year, I think if I hadn't made it at all, I think that would have just been like confirmation to myself and all the like weird, mean things I say about myself and my art. So I'm really, really glad that I trudged through and was able to make something, even if I'm not really sure if it is an improvement on last year's or not. It's an improvement on the first two. It's an improvement on some other things that I've made this year. So yeah, I am definitely really, really proud of her. I like her a lot. I hope you guys do too. I wish I was able to do kind of like a cheeky little background for her. I wasn't able to do that this year. Hopefully I'll be able to do something like that next year. But yeah, I really, really like it. So yeah, let me know if you guys like this piece or which of the years you like better, and then maybe I'll pull from that one next year. I don't know. Anyways, I do actually have some things that I want to say about 2023, so we're not leaving things off on too awkward of a note, because this is actually going to be, as you probably guessed, the last video of 2022. Can you believe that? This year went by so insanely fast. Like I can't even wrap my head around how quickly the years have been going by. I really hope that it slows down soon. But anyways, I really want to leave 2022, oh my gosh, 2022 off on a positive note. So I'm going to jump into some things that I want to talk about for the next year. So one positive is that I have way more motivation to make videos in the new year. You guys may have noticed that I uploaded 3 whole entire times this month in a row. I know, crazy. I might be giving myself next week off just so that I can organize and prepare everything for the new year. Or at least for the month. Trying not to get too ahead of myself, but I am continuously coming up with video ideas and getting excited for things that I want to try to do. So I will be genuinely looking forward to making content for you guys in the new year. Not that I haven't been recently, but just that there's less pressure of I need to make art to make videos, and more so I have videos I want to make and art that I want to make that I'm really excited about. So I'm also planning on experimenting with my style a lot in 2023, so expect to see a lot of studies, redraws, fan art, and other things of that nature. I figure if I'm not happy with the way my art is looking now, then I need to try out some stuff and see if I find new ways to do things, and then incorporate those into my style. At the very least, I hope to find ways of doing things that I don't like so that I can narrow it down to things that I do. I might even stop being a wimp and try out other mediums. I have so many gouache, so many pencil. I should really use them. I'm also possibly planning on bringing back Patreon in the new year. It will be nowhere near as intensive as it was last year or at the beginning of this year or any of the years that I have had Patreon. I'll probably be having like a $2 tier $2 tier for things like early uploads or exclusive look at sketches that I won't be posting anywhere else, and maybe real-time versions of my videos that involve speed paints just with no voiceover on them, just some music for you guys to chill and draw along with. I might also have a higher tier that I haven't figured out how to price yet. It might be like $20 or so and a free commission plus everything in the previous tier, though I will have to work on the terms for that. If a lot of people show interest in that, I may either have to bump the price of the tier or just limit how many people or limit how many people can join in that tier. I don't think I'll be doing a mail list tier like I did last year because it was just too much for me to keep up with, and I would prevent burnout as much as humanly possible. Even though it was really fun to design a lot of the stickers, it just was really not something that I think that I could handle right now, and definitely not something that I was even able to handle at the time. So yeah, don't know if I'll be doing any physical reward tiers or anything like that, but it would be really fun to play with a commission tier and some stuff like that. So if you guys are interested in anything like that, maybe leave a comment down below, or other ideas that you guys might want to see incorporated on the Patreon, and if I think that I am capable of handling that, then I might consider adding that to one of the tiers. Anyways, on that note, I am looking so forward to 2023, and I hope you guys are too. 2022 was so up and down and around for me. I can definitely say that it was insane, and I thank all of you for taking time out of your lives to come and watch me make art. It really means the world to me that you all show up and have continued to do so. I still can't wrap my head around the concept that there are so many people that genuinely sit down and just watch me make art. So yeah, I really appreciate it. And for the last time in 2022, I love you guys so much. I'll see you next year. Bye.